Now welcome to the lecture number 25. In the last lecture we have seen how to design a half adder, how to design a full adder, and we also discussed what is the problem with the parallel adder or a repeal adder. Now we are going to see how to construct the subtractor circuit. First we will start with the half subtractor. Like your half adder, it also subtract only one bit numbers. Let's take half subtractor. So it is going to take two 1-bit numbers and perform the subtraction operation. Please remember here, whenever you hear half means it is going to take only 1-bit numbers, either it may be addition or subtraction. Okay, so that means you are having two input for the given circuit or the circuit you are going to design. When you perform the subtraction, you are going to get two outputs. One is difference of those two numbers and borrow, if you have taken any borrow to perform the subtraction operation. Now that means your circuit will be something like this. You are going to have some black box here. So for this black box I am having two inputs A and B, and I am having two outputs, difference and borrow. So in case of half adder you have seen sum and carry. In case of subtract you are having difference and borrow. So that means you are having two variables. That means you are going to have total 4 possible combination. That means it can be 0 0. That means 0 minus 0 will be there. 0 minus 1 will be there. 1 minus 0 will be there. 1 minus 1 will be there. So these are the possibilities, and we are supposed to see what is the difference in carry when you perform this or the subtraction operation. When you subtract 0 minus 0, the difference will be 0. Now we are having difference and borrow. Now if I subtract 0 minus 0, I am going to get difference 0, borrow 0. And if I want to subtract 0 minus 1, you cannot subtract, you have to take borrow. That means you have to write borrow first. Then when you take borrow, it becomes 1 0. Borrow you are taking from higher order bits, it becomes 1 0. 1 0 minus 1 will be 1. So that means you are going to have difference 1, borrow 1. When you take 1 minus 0, a difference is 1, borrow is 0, because you don't have to take borrow. When you take 1 minus 1, your difference is 0 and borrow also 0. This is how you are going to get your truth table in case of half subtractor. Now I am going to form the truth table for, so I am going to form KMF for difference and KMF for the borrow. Okay, as usual I am going to consider universal and basic gates for the circuit design. So in this black box I am going to get my half subtractor. So in this case, if I take KMF for difference, it is a 2 variable. That means you are going to have total 4 cells. So you are going to fill difference. That means 0, 1, 1 and 0. And similarly, if you take for borrow, you are going to have 0, 1, 0 and 0. So if you look at here, there is no possibility for the pair formation. I can directly write different term as 2 isolated one. That means A bar B plus A B bar, or I can write it as A exclusive B. Similarly, if you take the borrow term, you can write as A bar B. Now you got your output terms, and you just need to design a circuit. So my circuit will have two inputs, that is A, another one is B, and you are going to have one XOR gate to produce the difference, and A bar B will be producing your borrow, So this is your circuit. This is A XOR B and this is A bar of B. Now I'm going to show you the simulation of this half subtractor in a moment. This is half subtractor which I did it in the DIT software. I'm going to simulate and show you. When both A is 0, B is 0, 0 minus 0 will be difference 0 and borrow 0. If I am having 1 0, 1 minus 0 will be 1 as a difference and borrow is 0. If I take A equals 0 and B equals 1, 0 minus 1, it require a borrow operation. That means your borrow is 1 and 1 0 minus 1 will be 1 as a difference. When both are 1 1, 1 minus 1 will be 0. That means your difference will be 0 and borrow also 0. This is how we can verify our half subtractor combinational circuit. Now we are going to see how to do the full subtractor, because in half subtractor, if you take a simple example of let's say A and B are there. Let's take there is a A2, A1 and A3. Sorry, A2, A1 and A0, and similarly B2, B1 and B0. See, whatever we discussed only relate to this, particularly only these 2 bits. Okay, you're going to subtract only 2 bits. Suppose if the given number having more than 1 bit, in such case, if you want to do the subtraction, sometimes this may be involved in the borrow operation, or this bit may be involved in the borrow operation. Okay. In such cases, you have to consider the borrow also into the circuit. We will see how to consider the borrow in a moment. So that circuit is called full subtractor, where you are going to consider the borrow operation also. We will try to see full subtractor. So as I said in the just now, let's take 2 numbers A and B. Let us have 2 numbers something like this. Now if you want to subtract A minus B, you have to take borrow from here first. It becomes 1 0. Then this becomes 0. That means 2 in decimal equivalent. It becomes 1 0 here and becomes 2 here. And this becomes 1 because you have taken one more borrow here. Now if you look at this borrow operation, if you look at this A minus B operation, you can see here your bit has involved borrow operation. Suppose if you consider the first 2 bits, it took borrow from the previous bit. Okay, so that means your 2 minus 1 will be 1 here clearly. So that means it is taking borrow. That means you have to write your difference as 1, borrow as 1, because it has taken borrow from the previous. But in this case, if you look at here, it already gave borrow. That means you have to subtract minus 1 from this place, and you have to do the subtraction. In this case, you are going to have 1 minus 1 will be 0, but you can see here there is a borrow operation already taken. That means this is related to this. If you take this one, it is also your difference is 0, borrow is, and borrow is 1. So what I want to tell you here is, when you consider the subtraction operation, you have to consider the bit whether it has involved previously in the borrow operation from the lower order bits. Like it is giving borrow to this bit, that means its value is reduced by 1. Similarly, this has given borrow to this bit, that means this value is reduced by 1. So that means if any bit involved in the borrow operation, that borrow operation has to be the borrow operation related 1 should be subtracted from the A minus B result also. So that's why you have to consider the new input, that is BI, for the circuit when you want to design a full subtractor. Like in case of full adder, we have taken A, B as input plus C in as also input, because the C in will come from the lower order bit addition to the higher order bits. Like when the 2 lower order bits added, you are going to get the carry. That carry is added to the next higher order bit. In the same way, when you consider the subtraction operation, you are going to consider whether the bit is involved in the borrow operation or not with respect to the lower order bits. If it is involved, then you have to consider borrow input also. That's why you have to take B also as input. That means your full subtractor will have 3 inputs. So one is your data bit, and second also data, and third one is B. So for the timing I'm considering this also C for simplicity. This is a borrow, and you're going to produce a difference output and borrow output. So this is my full subtractor circuit. I'm going to show you how I'm going to design my full subtractor circuit. Now we'll start with making the truth table for the full subtractor. So let's take A, B and C. C is nothing but C I am writing in bracket with BI. There's a borrow involved in the operation. Then you are going to have difference term and borrow term. Please don't get confused with this borrow and this borrow. So don't get confused with this borrow and this borrow. This borrow is taken for a bit from the higher order side. This borrow is given to the lower order bits in a simplest words. Okay, I'm going to take 0 0 first, then borrow is 0, then 0 0, and borrow 1. That means it means that your A bit is involved in the borrow operation. That means A bit has given borrow to the lower order bit. Similarly, if I take 0 1 0, then 0 1 1, that means again in this case also your A bit is involved in the borrow operation to the lower order bits. Then 1 0 0, 1 0 1, then 1 1 0 1 1 1. I'm going to take my output, that is one is difference, one is borrow. If I take here 0 minus 0 will be 0, minus 0 will be 0, that means difference 0, borrow 0. In this case your A is involved in the borrow operation. That's why you can see there is a borrow. That means you have to subtract 1 also. So 0 minus 0 will be 0, 0 minus 1 means you cannot subtract, you have to take borrow. That means you are having borrow here. When you take the borrow, it becomes 1 0, 1 0 minus 1 will be 1. Similarly, if you take 0 minus 1, not possible, you have to take borrow. That means borrow will be 1. That means 1 0 minus 1 will be 1, 1 minus 0 will be 1. Similarly, if you look at here, 0 minus 1 is not possible. That means you have to take borrow. 1 0 minus 1 will be 1, 1 minus 1 will be 0. Similarly, 1 minus 0 will be 1, 1 minus 0 will be 1. And similarly, if you take here 1 minus 0 will be 1, 1 minus 1 will be 0 and 0. If you look at here, 1 minus 1 will be 0, 0 minus 0 will be 0. Now 1 minus 1 will be 0, 0 minus 1 you have to take borrow. That means you are going to have 1 here. So this is how you are going to get the output. Now I am going to write the K-map for difference and borrow. So since it's 3 variable K-map, I have to consider 8 cells for difference and borrow. So I'm going to construct for differ. Next one for the borrow operation. So if I fill, it will be 0 1 1 0 1 0 0 1. A bar A, B bar C bar, B bar C, B C and BC bar. Similarly here also same thing. And if you fill a borrow 0 1 1 1 0 0 0 and 1. Now you got your minterms field. Now I'm going to get an expression for difference. If I take difference, so I have to write 4 isolated ones. There is no possibility for the pair formation. So if I write it here, a bar b bar times c plus a bar b times c bar, then a of b bar c, b bar c bar, then a of bc. If you rearrange the terms, if I take these two as 1 and if take the c bar, so a bar b plus a b bar times c bar plus a b plus a bar b bar times c. If you rearrange, you are going to get a xr b times c bar plus a xr times b into c. If I further simplify, it will be a xr b into c bar plus a xr b whole bar into c. It's like a b bar plus a bar b. That means you can write it as a xr b xr c. This is my difference. Now I'm going to show you for the borrow. If I take circuit for borrow, or if you try to minimize for borrow, you are having possibility for the pairs and other things, but we are going to take other way around so that we can get a simplified circuit. I am going to take individual elements, a bar b bar c, then a bar bc plus a bar b times c bar plus abc. A bar b common from these two terms, that means a bar b times c plus c bar, and I'm going to write it as a bar b bar plus ab times c. That means we're going to have a bar b plus xr b whole bar into c. So I took this intentionally individual words, individual minterms, so that I can minimize my circuit by including a xr b, and I am also having a xr b. This is only one thing I am considering. Please remember, instead of taking pairs here, I am taking individual words so that I can have an expression which also involves same output expression as your difference, so that I can reduce my circuit complexity. Otherwise, you can form the pairs, you can do another circuit also. Now it is very clear. I am going to design my circuit. I am going to have A, B, C. So first I am going to form one XOR gate, A and B. Then I am going to take output of here. Then going to connect with one more XOR gate. So this is my difference output, A XOR B XOR C. Then I am going to have A bar B. That means I am going to take on NOT gate. I am going to take B here. So this is my end operation of A bar B, and this is supposed to be added to the. So if I take one more NOT gate here, this becomes A XOR B whole bar, and I am going to multiply A XOR B with C. That means I am going to one more AND gate here. That means this is C into A XOR B whole bar. I am going to add these two with a OR gate, so that I am going to get my borrow term is same as here, A bar B plus C times A XOR B whole bar. So this is how you are going to design a circuit for the full subtractor. I am going to show you the simulation. Now if you look at here, this is a circuit which we are going to simulate in the DEED software. So whatever expression we have derived, the same circuit is developed here. I am going to check all ones. So all ones in 1 minus 1 will be 0. 0 minus 1 means you are supposed to produce a borrow 1 and a difference 1. You can see there is a borrow 1 and difference 1. Now I am going to check 1 0 1. 1 minus 0 will be 1. 1 minus 1 will be 0. That means you are supposed to get difference 0 and borrow 0. I'm going to make 1 1 0. 1 minus 1 will be 0, that means difference 0 as well as borrow 0. I'm going to make it 0 1 0. 0 minus 1 involves a borrow operation, that means your borrow should be 1. And if you take borrow, then it becomes 1 0 minus 1, that means you're going to get a difference 1. So this is how you're going to simulate your full subtractor. Now I'm going to show you how you're going to have a parallel subtractor if the given number having more than 2 bits or more than 3 bits. Now I'm going to show you parallel subtractor. Like your parallel adder, you're going to have parallel subtractor. Now I'm going to show you how to construct a parallel subtractor circuit. Please remember, as we discussed in the unit number 1, you don't have to use separate circuit for the subtraction. We can use the same addition circuit for the subtraction by using 2's complement method. Just by using 2's complement method, we can use same adder circuit, same your parallel adder circuit for subtraction also. I'll show you how we are going to do that. So in case of 2's complement, let's take a simple example just to revise your basics. Let's take 7 minus 3. Your 7 will be 0 1 1, and your 3 you're supposed to first write in the true or positive number, then you have to first complement it, that means 1 1 0 0. So that means this complement operation can be done by just taking an inverter for all the 4 bits. Then I'm going to add 1 to get my minus 3 in 2's complement system. This is my minus. This you already know it. Okay. Now if you want to construct a parallel subtractor, what you do is you are going to use the same full adder circuit. Suppose I am going to do, let's say, a 3-bit subtraction. That means my A is having A2, A1 and A0, and my B bit is having B2, B1 and B0. So that means you are having a 3-bit, that means you are going to have 3 full adders. So I'm keeping one full adder here and one more full adder here and one more full adder here. Now what I'm going to do is, anyway A I can give directly because I don't have to do any manipulation. So I'm going to give my A2 here, A1 here and my A0 here, and taking this carry out to this one and this carry also this one. So my C0 is giving here, C1 is giving here, and my C2 is coming here. Now you can clearly see here, if you want to use the adder circuit for the subtraction, you are supposed to complement all the bits. That means I am going to write my B0 with a inverter here. Similarly, B1 with a inverter here and B2 with a inverter here. Okay, now you got the complement. Now you are supposed to add one. That one I am adding with C in. As I said in the adder case, in the case of full adder, parallel adder, I kept C in as 0. Please remember, in case of parallel addition, I kept for the first bit or first full adder C in as 0. Instead of C in as 0, in case of subtraction, I am making C in as 1. That means it is going to add 1 to this bit. Suppose when you add here also, you are going to write this 1100 here, then you are going to add 1. That is also fine. So same thing we are doing it here. Now your A bit is same, your B bits are getting complemented. For this complemented bit you are added 1. That means whatever the results you are going to get, that is S0, S1, S2 or like C2, S2, S1, S0. This is my result. Depending upon the result, depending on the C2 bit, you are going to decide whether the given result is positive or negative. Okay, if it is a negative number, then you have to convert into true binary form by taking one more 2's complement form. So this is how you are going to use same full adder circuit, this one full adder and this one full adder and this one full adder. So same full adder circuit can be used for the parallel subtraction operation also. But if you look at here, we are going to use two circuits, one for the parallel addition, one for the parallel subtractor. Instead of using two circuits, I am going to use only one circuit with a minor modification so that I can perform both addition and subtraction depending on my interest. I am going to show you a new circuit where I am going to do both addition and subtraction in the same circuit. Let's take a 3-bit adder cum subtractor, 3-bit parallel adder cum subtractor. We are going to see how we are going to design. So I am going to take 3 full adders here. This is my first full adder and this is my second full adder and this is my third full adder. Please remember, these are the 3 full adders I am taking. Now I am having my A bit number as A0, A1 and A2 and B is as B0, B1 and B2. Now what I am going to do is I am going to give my A input as it is directly. I am going to keep my A input directly without any modification, without anything, because even for the addition or subtraction you don't have to do anything for the A bits. So if I do A plus B or A minus B, your A you don't have to modify anything, but in case of B, B need to be changed depending on whether it is undergoing addition or undergoing subtraction. If it is undergoing addition, no change is required. If it is undergoing subtraction, you have to convert into 2's complement form. That's why I am taking my A bits as usual. For taking B bit, what I am doing, I am taking one XOR gate. Please listen carefully here. I am taking 3 XOR gate for 3 full adders. I am going to use XOR gate working function. So it will be more clear when I explain how it's going to go. So I am keeping my B2 here, B1 here and B0 here. I am taking second input common for all the XOR gates. Please remember, I am taking my second input for the XOR gate common. This has connected to only XOR gate and this is connected to the C-in of the circuit. It's connected to the C-in of the circuit, and this full adder is going to produce S0 and C0, and this C0 will be fed back to the next full adder and is going to produce S1 and is going to produce C1. This C1 is fed back to the next full adder and going to produce S2 and C2. Now if you look at the working of your XOR gate, as I said in the first few classes, your XOR gate can be used as inverter if you make one input as 1. Suppose if I make x equals to 1 and next one is b, if I write the output expression y will be 1 into b bar plus b into 1 bar. That means you are going to get y equals b bar. That means if I keep my, now you are clear, when the one input of XOR gate is 1, you are going to get output as complement of the given input. So if you look at here, I connected one control line M that is connected to C-in as well as the XOR gate. If I keep M equals to 1, it is going to produce B0 complement, B1 complement and B2 complement. At the same time, it is going to apply 1 here. That means C-in becomes 1. That means your B bits are complemented and 1 is added. That means you are actually doing a complement addition of A plus B. That means nothing but a subtraction operation. Whereas when you keep M equals 0, when you keep M equals 0, that means your X is 0 here. When X is 0 here, you are going to get, when M equals 0, it is going to produce B complement and you are going to produce C-in also 1. So that means it is going to act as a subtraction operation. Similarly, when M equals 0, you are going to produce B without any constant. Your Cin is 0. In this case, it's going to act as a addition operation. So if you take XOR gate, if one bit is 0, another bit is same. In this case, your output will be y equals b times 0 bar plus b bar times 0. That means you are going to get b as my output. So when you keep m equals 0, your b will not complement and your Cin becomes 0. It becomes a 3-bit parallel adder. Whereas when you keep m equals 1, your b becomes b bar and you are going to get Cin 1. In that case, your entire circuit will act as a 3-bit parallel subtract. This is how you can use the same circuit for the addition as well as a subtraction. So now in the next lecture, I am going to show you how your carry located adder going to do the arithmetic operation more effectively with less propagation delay.